Hello everyone, in this video we will be making a Python Pong game using Pygame, which is a really cool module if you want to build some pretty advanced games. So without any hassle and bustle, let's just get into the game. First of all, we need to import Pygame. Well, this is probably the simplest step. All we need to do is say import Pygame. After this, you'll encounter a problem. It'll say Pygame is not installed. Hover over it, and it'll show you a place where it says install package Pygame. Click on it, you should be good to go. If something doesn't work for some reason, all you want to do is go to the terminal and then run pip. If you get any error, just ignore it. Write pip install and then whatever package. So we want to use Pygame. So pip install Pygame. I already have it, so I'm not going to do this step. But if it's not working for you guys for some reason, do it or reinstall Python and add it to the path. I'm not going to be covering how to do that, but I think that's in my first video. You should be able to know how to add it to the path, or else pip will not work. So we use import Pygame. So after that, what we need to do is initialize Pygame. This problem is fixed in recent versions, but all this basically does is it initializes the game for us. The thing is, people didn't want to repeatedly add the same lines of code in every single game they built using Python. So Pygame later removed this, but just to be safe, I'm using pygame.init so we don't encounter any problems. So let's do that. After that, what we want to do is create a comment saying constant. Under that, we're just going to define our variables real quick. So width and our height. AC address. Height. Yeah. Height, and then we'll just set it to 700 and 500. Okay, so 700 and our 500. To set our display size. This should be fairly big on some displays, but the thing is, some of them might be 4K, some might be HD. So on HD monitors, this should be pretty big, but you can just play around with these values to get what you would like. We won't get anything because we didn't actually add any window yet, so let's do that now. So our window is going to be equal to a Pygame.display and .set mode to add a mode or size to our window, and then we're just going to use our width and height, and be sure to add an extra pair of parentheses. So this extra pair just means that we're adding a tuple, which is an immutable array, and what we can do with this is basically create lists that we cannot change. So width and our height. So we can do that pretty simply. Now what next? Well, we can use Pygame.display.set mode to set caption to actually change the top text of this. And another thing you might be wondering is we just created a window object, and then what we're doing is using Pygame.display again, because we're actually using a fragment of Pygame.display. We aren't exactly using Pygame.display itself, so we have to do Pygame.display.set caption. I'm going to shorten Pygame to PG, and then instead of Pygame everywhere, we can just say PG. PG. And After that, what we want to do is create a FPS. So the pace of which our game runs. So it's frames per second. We're gonna do 60 frames per 1 second. And then the colors we need to add are basically white and black, white, and then black. So just type it all in caps. And then these both are going to equal tuples with 3 values inside of them. So these are so we don't run into any bugs when we're actually coding this out. So I'm going to put 0, 0, 0. And I'm just going to indent it, space this out. Oh. So this is RGB, so this has to be 255, 255, 255. This should be 0, 0, 0. So these are the two colors we need. After that, what we want to do is, in the game Pong, we have 2 balls. I mean 1 ball, and we have 2 paddles. The one main ball is actually, we can use a square to represent it, or we can use a circle. In this game, we're going to be using a circle, and what we can do is simply set our ball radius, ball underscore radius, this, to 7. You guys can mess around with these values, but these are just perfect for me. So, and then put an enter. What else we will need is the paddle. Well, without a width and height, the thing in Python is that stuff might not show up because the width is 0 and the height is 0. That means that we have no width, no height, so our object will be invisible. Basically like how this works. You can see that this coordinate, if my mouse were here, if the width of this was 0, we wouldn't be able to see it, obviously. Another thing based on coordinates is how Pygame coordinates things based on its display. Well, it's using the 0, 0 as the top left-hand corner, which is actually pretty good if you want to make some games, and yeah, so we can use that. And secondly, what we want to do is after we set our ball radius, we want to give it a paddle, so type paddle, and then we want to give it a width. And paddle width and paddle height actually go together, so we can just say paddle underscore height. And then what we can do for the width is actually make it 20. So it's not that wide, but for the height it should just be 100. Simply that. And that's it for our starting variables. And if you want to, you can add a winning score. We can make it infinite if you want by not declaring it. I'm just going to make the winning score. So just add this winning underscore score is equal to, suppose 10. So you have to win 10 games, not in a row, just 10 games to win the game. So that's it for this video. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and like this video. Be sure to share this video with other people so that it can help others out in coding as well. And with that said, I'm going to end this video. See ya next time. See ya.